Greetings. So back to our topic, what is in a Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson? One thing that's common in a Feldenkrais awareness through movement lesson is constraints and affordances. Those are big words, but they really just mean limitations that create avenues for creative exploration. So when we set up a constraint in movement that disallows us to move in certain ways, we have to find new ways to move within the limitation, which is what any creative process is about, whether we're working with paint and canvas or plaster or metal. It's the limitation of the material that calls forth our creativity, because we have to find a way to work with and move within the limitation of the medium. So let's take as an example the lesson that we did last week with the rolling of the arms. Let me make sure that I lower my camera. There we go. Okay. So what we did last week was arm on opposite top of the shoulder, palm on opposite elbow. If I'm going to move my arms side to side like this, I don't have any constraint here. And my arms move freely. But if I tie my arms together and to my shoulder girdle, then when I move my arms, look at how much more movement there is in my rib cage. So I might start out saying, oh, I can't move my arms at all. When they're stuck together like this, there's no movement. But as I begin to sense, I start to notice, oh, I can roll my rib cage to roll my arms. And when I roll my rib cage to roll my arms, I roll my head. So look at the difference between this and how much it involves the rest of me, or even, this, even some nice movement like this, versus the constraint, which as I explore, as I move, as I start to figure out, well, how can I move within this constraint? Suddenly, I'm discovering all of this movement that includes my rib cage, my shoulder blades, my spine, my neck, and my skull. And that is what creates the freedom. Or let's say I'm doing the movement this way, down and up to one side. So I could do, if I don't have the constraint of my hands glued to my body, I could move like this, and it would still give me some movement in my upper back. But when I tie things together like this, in order to move this much with this constraint, other instruments in the orchestra have to come along, and I end up freeing the parts of myself that are always stabilized when I'm doing what I do for my living, and stay still. So that's a brief view of what constraints are. Thank you so much for watching, and love a comment.